Hi guys, welcome to another episode with myself and Jamie. Today we're probably just going to talk about like exercise and when you feel like exercise guilt or gym guilt or anything to do with exercise and our top tips on how not to get um too overwhelmed with it and or get too obsessed with it.
Definitely. I think it's a really good topic. Like there's so many different avenues that we can go down. I mean, you mentioned two there, so like gym guilt, or exercise guilt, of feeling like you haven't been, and then you can get into a bit of a rut and then just not go at all, which is again absolutely fine. I think I've rode the roller coaster on my own personal journey in so many relationships with exercise, whether it be for fun, activity, social. It very much started just, me and my friend thinking, right, um, we was going out far too much, spending far too much money. And we said, right, okay, we're going to be that girl and we're going to join a country club. And on our Friday nights, we're going to go for a spa and a sauna and do a gym workout and whatever. And that's going to be our Friday night. Well, we used to do that and then we'd be bored by 8 o'clock and then we go drinking after. So, there's that balance that everyone talks about.
All in
No,
one night.
yeah, yeah. It started off very much like that, and then obviously you get passion for things, and it might be send you down different routes. You might end up, not liking the gym. You might want to do something more track based or rollerblading, ice skating, whatever you want to do. And your relationship with it can change. It can be a good for a certain amount of time, and then it can be not so good. For others, you might get bored, you might not want to do it, you might need to push yourself outside your comfort zone a little bit. Or again, it might just be adding too much pressure on your life. I had one lady and her gym is miles away from her. So the thought of going to the gym in her head is fantastic, but the traffic, the this, that, like she could have done the workout. I said, look, why don't we do something like biking, running, home workouts, or
Hmm.
something closer. So I think that the relationship with the output of what you want to do is really important because if you don't enjoy it, then you're not going to want to do it. You're not going to show up. Um,
Becomes a chore, doesn't it, when you start not enjoying it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely took throughout like my stages of pregnancy, I was using the Peloton quite a lot. Um, and for about a good amount of time after, I just never wanted to sit on the Peloton because it just reminded me of being like quite stationary there and but now, giving it a break, I've jumped back onto it, and now I'm like, it's absolutely perfect because it's quick, it's easy, it's snappy. You don't have to drive anywhere. It's great when you've got children or whatever. So it's good for a certain amount of time, and then you might need to make a change.
Mm.
Um, and I think then the guilt of thinking, oh, I haven't done. I mean, it might be running, for example, if you've been training for a marathon and then you, or half marathon, and then you all of a sudden your priorities change and you start thinking, oh, I've dropped that run this week and oh, I didn't get out for my 10K this week. You can beat yourself up a little bit. And I think that that's where we need to challenge the mind of like what happiness you get from things, or are you replacing it with something else? What's your experience, Kimberly? What's your experience with output?
So actually very recently I've completely fallen out of love with the gym and I've been doing it for 4 years. So I am thinking of changing gyms. I think I need a change of environment. But I won't until September because there's a loyalty scheme and I want to get my 2 night free stays. So I was trying to stick it out until September for the 3 night stay. But at the moment where I am at, like, I used to work out 4 times a week at the gym. And that's been like it for 4 years. And I've been very, very consistent with it. And this is the really proper first time where I've been like, I'm proper falling out of love with it. So at the moment, I am just kind of waking up in the morning and thinking, like, if I want to go, I'm going to go. And if I wake up another morning, if I don't want to go, I'm not going to go. Instead, I'll go out and get my steps. So, because at the moment, I am finding it all a bit too overwhelming. Life is a little bit more busier than usual. So I was just prioritizing what I can and can't do because sometimes driving to the gym, so it's only 10 minutes, but that's a 10-minute journey there, 10-minute journey back. So that's 20 minutes already, where I could just do a quick 20-minute home workout as well. I mean, instead of. Um, so it's just kind of thinking back of like, if you're getting to that stage of falling out of love with a certain type of exercise, it's like, why don't if it's gym, for example, with the weights and stuff, have a bit of a deload week, lift a bit lighter. And if that's still not working, then try something else. And you can always go back to it because that, like, for me, that's like my first love of gym. That's I never used to be a gym girl. I used to bloody hate it. I used to look at people, I'm like, why? Why do you do it? I understand why now, but I need, I think I need that little bit of a break now. But it's also being very, very careful of not going to the gym to burn calories. So I've had that experience before, and I've heard people talk about it, and it's just like it's very important to realize that you don't just go to the gym to burn calories. Yes, that is a small part of it, but the bigger picture is it's for overall health. It's for like bone density, and it's massively good like for your mind. Exercise, whatever exercise you do, it's really good for mental health. So it's kind of thinking of the bigger picture rather than just looking as to burn calories, because then you fall into like punishing the body because, oh, I've eaten this today, I need to go and run this off, or I need to go lift some weights to burn that off. And that's quite a toxic way of thinking, or a negative way of thinking. So it's kind
Yeah.
of catching that thought process very, very quickly, before that gets worse, and actually look at the bigger picture. And it's just like, well, for overall health is for
Yeah,
exercise. So
absolutely. I can
that's
fully relate to that. That's such a key factor that needs to be said. Like, you want to go to the gym because it makes you feel good. You've done something for yourself. Like, I think I put something on my story or whatever. Like, I used to go to the gym to get stronger or, to
mm,
change aesthetic or whatever. But now I go for like the purpose of having a strong mind. And, the reason I can have such a strong mind is because I do things for me that make me feel good. And just setting that time aside really is important. And it's you time. And, sometimes it's important, like, some people go, they listen to music or they'll go listen to a podcast, but sometimes it's actually just okay to just be with your own thoughts and move your body, count the reps, or, get a bit of a sweat on and, let your brain go into a creative mode. Because when you're using the part of your brain that moves all your limbs, your other part of your brain that's an overthinker or a worrier, it cannot operate at the same time. So using the muscles and then kind of letting that brain work in a different direction, especially if you're like a desk person that's got a lot of like computer or whatever coming in, or if you're a person like a mum of 2 or 3 kids, or even one child or whatever, if you've got a lot on your plate, then you can separate things much more easily.
mm.
And I think it's such a game changer when you can get them endorphins from going to the gym. I mean, there's stats that say that you can get the same feel good factor, if not better, from like eating a chocolate digestive biscuit to doing a workout. Like the actual, end purpose is to feel good, and you can get that from the output, whether it be yoga or, just getting those blood circulating around your
Mm,
body. And I think, yeah, it's so true what you said about going, not to count calories, but actually to move the muscles, sort your posture out, things like that. So, so important.
absolutely, yeah. And like going back to getting like exercise or gym guilt, because that's it, it's starting to creep in on me now because I haven't exercised that much recently. It's starting to creep in, but it's also kind of, and one of my clients is experiencing the same. Like she's got a really busy week this week and she's only done two exercises when usually two workouts when she usually gets in three. So I've kind of said to her, well, actually, let's just take a step back and think about what you have done this week. You've got two workouts in. Yes, it might not be three, but at least you've done two. So, and if you're busy, sometimes it's thinking about you might be too busy to actually do a workout depending on what your day looks like, or you're getting ready for like a weekend away or a holiday or something that's going on that night. It's prioritizing what you can do for the rest of the week, and then not beating yourself up about it just because you haven't got that extra workout in that you scheduled for yourself, but looking
Mm.
back at what you have done instead,
Yeah,
which I think is really, really important. It's
so
kind of stopping in that
important.
moment and just looking backwards for a minute rather than thinking, oh shit, I haven't done this, haven't done that.
Yeah, and sometimes you can like shoot yourself in the foot and kind of put yourself on the back foot, because if your fitness levels are not where you want them to be, and on Monday you go do an absolute smashing workout, give it 130%. Tuesday you do a workout, give it 100%. Wednesday 90%. Thursday, because you're not used to that output, your hunger levels are bound to be higher. So what you'll do is Thursday is a trigger day because you've worked all those days, you've worked out, you've put the kids to bed, or you've looked after some family members, whatever. Thursday and Friday are massive trigger days for a lot of people, where
Mm,
then they will overindulge and, put maybe on the wrong, not wrong choices, but the wrong choices that don't fall in line with their want. So I don't
yeah.
mean that there's anything there, good or bad food, absolutely not, but the wrong choices that they would like to make, if that makes sense.
Mm,
So then they end up in that guilt and, yeah, just feeling rotten, when actually if they'd have just done something more simplistic, a walk, something like a 15-20 minute workout, and have it more averaged across the week
mm,
rather than kill a workout Monday, Tuesday. And I think that's the benefit of having a coach or a mentor to reflect on this and then push on the next week and be a little bit more mindful to achieve what you want to achieve.
yeah, I totally agree with that. And going on to like um pushing yourself too much and not listening to your body is a massive thing, because you see a lot of people or hear a lot of people being like, oh, I must sweat and I must do a fast workout and I must get
Mm.
my heart rate up. It's no, you don't have to. It's what you can do that day. And if you really tune into your body, like, for us girls, it depends where we are on our cycle. Like, pre-period week and period week is probably our, I don't want to say weakest weeks, but I want to say less strong.
Yeah,
Less
you're
strong.
just a little bit more prone to fatigue on
Yeah,
those weeks.
that's
Yeah.
fatigue. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, a bit more fatigue. So then take it back a bit. Take, if you want to do a body weight workout or just a walk, then that's absolutely fine. You don't have to sweat it out. You don't have to push yourself too hard, and you don't have to rush the workout. Whereas after our period week, and it's usually our ovulation week, oh my God, we can go, go, go. And it's the best feeling ever. So if you feel that, then absolutely swing with it and go for it. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just I wanted to make sure that anyone that's listening is to actually tune into your body when it comes to exercise, because if it gets too much and you don't have to rush through an exercise, you can do it at your own pace as well. And it's watching what you do as a person, not everyone else around you, because everyone else is doing what they're meant to be, what they're doing, what they think is right. So you just need to kind of concentrate on what you're doing. So I think that's probably quite a good tip actually for anyone that's
Yeah,
listening on
just to
that.
concentrate on what you can achieve for that day or that week. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many topics there. We could talk about it for ages, but I hope that our little tips and tricks and insight into what might be working for you and what you might need to change. I hope that helps everyone that's listening.
Oh, thanks for listening.